is a lovely day to talk about books. Here are 5,
I meant to say 6, it's 6 books, sorry,
of my favourite middle grade books that aren't boring and that aren't classics, because some kids hate classics and I was one of those kids. I'm still not really that much of a fan of classics. It depends on the book, but some I like and some I really don't like. Number 1 is The Uncommoners. This book I believe I read within 2 days. Probably one of my favourite books I've ever read. It's so beautiful. It's called The Uncommoners, The Crooked Sixpence, and it's part of a trilogy of books by Jennifer Bell. So I'm going to read you the back and you tell me if you like it or not. Or if maybe your kid or niece or nephew will like it. Welcome to a world where nothing is quite as it seems. A silver bell will tell you the way. A candle's wick will hide you. And a crooked sixpence will be the first warning. Time is running out. Ivy and Seb Sparrow stumble across something uncommon when they see a feather scratch an ominous message on their grandma's kitchen wall. Soon they are lost in the extraordinary world of Londonor, where ordinary objects have amazing powers. But where there is power, evil often lurks, and Ivy and Seb must get to the bottom of a family secret before it's too late. This is such a good book. Oh my god. It's essentially based on living in London, but a little bit more kind of funky. Won't you take me to funky town? I don't even know how to describe it. It's just very enchanting. I really recommend this for middle grade readers, and it's pretty thin. I say pretty thin, some people might think that's pretty thick. It's about 350 pages, so easy to digest. It's cute. She's real cute, okay? She's so cute. And I think Ivy as the main character is adorable. My next book is The Royal Rabbits of London by Santa Montefiore and Simon Sebag Montefiore. I hope I'm saying their names correctly. It's about a bunch of rabbits. Again, we're kind of with the London theme. I actually think, yeah, these are pretty English books. But I think they're fun, with one exception. One is not an English book. But you'll see where my writing, style comes from, because we have English books and then one Japanese book. So that's kind of where my inspiration comes from. And all these books obviously shaped me as, a writer as well, so it kind of makes sense. So adorable. It has little pictures inside. Ta-da! Look at how cute that is. There's just really pretty illustrations and it really adds to the style of the book. The font's really easy to read. It's, again, really short, really short. And it's just really cute and, again, charming. I think all these books are really charming. Shiloh gazed up at the stars twinkling in the satin sky. He wished that he was clever and brave like the secret society of rabbits who had once lived beneath Buckingham Palace and protected the royal family of England from danger. He dreamed of a life of adventure. Shiloh, he's shy, and he wants a really exciting life, and that's what he gets. He gets to join the Royal Rabbits of London. I think a lot of Americans would like this book because it kind of integrates you into that royal side of England and living near London or living in London. So it's a nice cultural book that also includes talking rabbits, and who doesn't love talking rabbits? My third recommendation is one of my favourite books, and I actually talked about this when I was interviewed by Karen E. Osborne. This book I love. It's called If Cats Disappeared from the World by Genki Kawamura. It's so adorable, and I was drawn to this book. I was in Hatchards in London maybe 5 years ago, and I saw it as I was queuing up to pay for whatever I had just bought, and I thought, oh, I need that because I love cats. Come on, how can you resist? I can't resist any book that has a cat on the cover. Do these other books have cats on the covers? No. It's such an interesting premise. It's set all in Japan. It's by a Japanese author. It's an amazing book. What would you sacrifice for an extra day of life? The devil picked that moment to announce in his usual cheerful manner the next item he'd make disappear. I couldn't think about anything anymore, so I said yes, just like that. At that point, the thought that it could happen to my cat Cabbage had never crossed my mind. It's essentially the title, If Cats Disappeared from the World. Is the world worth it? And how far would you go? What would you take away from life in order to better yourself at the expense of other people? It's very philosophical, but a middle grade reader could 100% read this and understand this. If you know a young sort of 10-ish year old and think, I don't think that they are at that reading level, they read a little bit younger, then this probably isn't appropriate for them. But anyone reading at the age level of 10 and above, they could easily understand this. It's so beautifully written. I read it in one sitting, and I rarely do that with books. I like to take my time with them. I wouldn't say a super fast reader. I used to be as a kid, and then I think I kind of plateaued. Please buy this book. It's so beautiful. Chef's kiss. My next book recommendation is this amazing book, and it's amazing. It's called Nicki Cottage and the Onkydonks. It follows a young girl called Nicki who lives in a cottage on a hill with her grandmother and is forbidden from entering Wonky Woods. Wonky Woods is a haunting, terrifying place, and no one will tell Nicki why. Why are the trees bendy? Why is there a cloud that hangs forever over the woods and never seems to shift no matter how sunny it gets? And why, when I saw my cat Jasper run into the woods, did I follow him in there and all hell broke loose? Two pairs of beady eyes stared up at her from the darkness. One pair a vivid violet and the other a sparkling amber. These eyes stared at Nicki. Nicki stared back in complete shock. Then she began to scream. I'm not going to read anything else from the back. I'm going to leave it there. It's my debut novel, and my amazing illustrator did the cover. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. It's about 460 pages, so it is a bigger book. So some kids might find that off-putting, and they might be like, yeah, I'm going to read the shorter books on this list. That's totally fine. Every kid has their reading preferences. This is for boys and girls. There's a little bit of horror theme to it, but nothing too terrifying. It's more a sort of haunting, whimsical thriller, but age-appropriate. It certainly encourages a lot of creativity. There was an immense amount of Japanese inspiration when I wrote this book, and If Cats Disappeared from the World is one of those big inspirations. Hence why there's a cat on the front. I can't write a book without a cat in it. It's becoming a problem. Like, someone please save me. You can find more information about it in the bio, or just look it up on Amazon or Ingram Spark, whatever. But yeah, just had to get that product placement in there. But it's my product placement, so it's okay, I think. My next recommendation is Rosie Frost and the Falcon Queen by Jerry Halliwell Horner. I would say of these books, maybe excluding If Cats Disappeared from the World, this one is maybe for, I would say, like 12-year-olds. So then you're kind of going into young adults. But I think this is that sort of step before you get to the YA novels. To save the future, she must uncover the past. Suddenly orphaned and alone, Rosie Frost is sent to an exclusive boarding school on Bloodstone Island, a sanctuary for endangered wildlife. There she confronts a menacing deputy headmaster, mean girls intent on destroying her, and shocking family secrets. She also discovers that history can come to life in ways she never imagined. When the island and its animals come under threat, Rosie knows it's up to her to save them. Her only hope is to enter the school's legendary Falcon Queen games and somehow win. It was really, really gripping for me. I really couldn't put it down. I loved her character of Rosie Frost. Every character that we were introduced to, there were quite a few, and I never felt overwhelmed or overloaded with characters. I felt like they all had their place and they were all necessary to keep the plot going. Really engaging. I would really recommend this. And the cover's like purple and fun. Bonus points for cute covers. Because you can judge a book by its cover. I know, controversial, but everyone does it. And my final recommendation, The Piece de Resistance, A Place Called Perfect, by Helen Duggan. This is another book that's in a series, so there are 3 of these books, and I love this book series. I love it so much. I'm obsessed. She kind of looks like Nicki Cottage. And I had the idea of Nicki Cottage before I read this book, because I had the idea of her when I was like maybe 6 or 7. Don't do it. So she kind of looks like her, but I didn't base her off of her. She already existed before this diva came along. Violet, sorry Violet, never wanted to move to Perfect. It's called A Place Called Perfect. It's a place called Perfect. Who wants to live in a town where everyone has to wear glasses to stop them going blind? And who wants to be neat and tidy and perfectly behaved all the time? I mean, I kind of do, but we'll just... Violet quickly discovers there's something weird going on in the town. She keeps hearing voices. Her mum is acting strange and her dad has disappeared. When she meets Boy, she realises that her dad is not the only person to have vanished, and that the mysterious watchers are guarding a perfectly creepy secret. It's very, very similar to The Uncommoners. And what's even funnier, actually, is that it's the same illustrator that did the covers, and you can see how similar these are. A very similar style. They're both very blue, very kind of haunting. I think that's a theme with a lot of the books that I like, is how haunting they can be. And I think that's a good thing for middle grade readers, because it introduces them to this genre of maybe horror and thrillers, but without being horrifying or giving them nightmares, because I was always prone to nightmares if I watched something scary, and I kind of still am to this day. I think that genre of books is really beneficial, especially for them understanding that things aren't always as rosy and as wonderful as media, as maybe Disney films portray. Sometimes they can actually be even scarier than we might think, and I think it's a nice way of slowly introducing that into kids' lives in a helpful, productive and meaningful way. And I think that's where obviously books come in. So these are all of the amazing middle grade books that I personally recommend, that are not classics, that have not got big words in them that your kid is not going to understand. They will understand everything that they read in these books if they are of the middle grade reader age. And obviously adults can read these books too. So that is all for today. I hope that you enjoyed me yapping, and I will see you later. Bye!